People in soccer still talk about Adaeze, the beautiful girl whose heart no man could win. They called her the flower that never opened, the woman whose smile could calm a storm but whose eyes held a secret. Adaeze was everything many girls dreamed to be. She was tall, soft-spoken, and graceful. Her father, Chief Madu, was one of the most respected businessmen in town. Her mother, Madam Ifeoma, owned fashion stores in Enugu, Awka, and Abuja. They raised Adaeze like a princess, private schools, the best clothes, vacations abroad. Yet, with all that, she never looked down on anyone. She was humble, kind, and gentle. But when it came to marriage, she became a mystery. From the time she turned 23, men lined up to ask for her hand. The rich, the educated, even those from powerful families. Some brought gifts. Some came with their parents. Some wrote long love letters that could make any girl blush. But Adaeze always said the same words, "I'm not ready." At first, people laughed it off. Then, they started talking. "She's proud," one woman said at the market. "She must be under a spell," another whispered. A few even said she had fallen for someone in secret, maybe a married man or someone her parents didn't approve of. But Adaeze didn't explain herself to anyone. She just lived quietly, helping at her mother's shop and running a small community program for young girls. Every weekend, she taught them sewing, reading, and confidence. She told them, "Never rush into love. Let love find you at peace." And then, one evening that changed everything. It was a rainy Thursday. Adaeze stopped at a small cafe to escape the storm. Inside, there was soft music playing, and the smell of coffee filled the air. Sitting by the window was a young man typing on a laptop. When she came in, he looked up and smiled politely. He had an easy smile, not the type that tried to impress, just calm and real. "Would you like to sit here? It's warmer by the window," he said. Adaeze smiled and nodded. That's how she met Somto. Somto was a software developer from Anambra who had just moved to Nsukka for a new project. He was smart, funny, and kind, but what made him different was how he looked at her, like he saw her, not just her beauty or her father's money. They talked that evening about rain, books, and music. He loved writing poetry, she loved reading it. He told her, sometimes, love isn't loud, it's quiet, patient, and waits at the right window. She laughed softly, not knowing how true those words would become. They started meeting often, at the cafe, the park, and sometimes at the roadside suya stand. They talked about everything, dreams, fears, even heartbreaks. For the first time, Adaeze felt something she had never felt before, peace. Weeks turned into months, and the town noticed the change. She smiled more. She wore brighter colors again. Even her mother started teasing her, "So, this is the man that broke your war, eh?" Adaeze would just blush and change the topic. But just when happiness felt close, things began to shift. Somto started acting strange. He missed their meetings, stopped replying to her texts, and when she called, his voice sounded tired and far away. Adaeze thought he was losing interest, but her heart told her something was wrong. One evening, she decided to visit him unannounced. When she got to his compound, she met his younger sister crying at the gate. Adaeze's heart froze. Inside, Somto lay weak on the bed, his face pale, his lips trembling as he tried to smile. He had been battling a rare heart condition for years, one that no amount of money could cure. He looked at her and said softly, "I didn't want you to see me like this." "Why?" she cried. "Because I wanted you to remember me strong. I didn't want your love to turn into pity." Adaeze sat beside him and held his hand. "You fool," she whispered through tears. "You think I love your strength. I love your soul." They stayed up all night talking about dreams they would never leave, places they would never visit, and love they would never grow old in. As dawn broke, Somto smiled weakly. "If there's another life, I'll find you first," he said. Those were his last words. When he died, Adaeze's world went silent. The girl who once made others laugh stopped smiling. The girl who once lit up every room walked through life like a shadow. Her parents tried to comfort her, but she refused to move on. When new men came, she turned them all away, politely, quietly, with the same old words, "I'm not ready." But everyone knew the truth, she wasn't waiting for anyone new. Her heart had already chosen, and it had chosen forever. Years passed. Adaeze opened a tech and skills center in Somto's name, training young people for free. It became her life's work. Every morning, she wore white, the color of memory, the color of peace. And every evening, she went back to that cafe, sitting by the same window where she and Somto once talked about the rain. Sometimes, she would order his favorite, black coffee with 2 cubes of sugar. She would stare out into the storm and whisper softly, "You found me first." People who passed by often saw her there, smiling faintly, lost in thought. Some said she was crazy. Others said she was just faithful. But one old woman once said, "That's not madness. That's love that outlived time." And on nights when the rain falls hard in soccer, people say they still see her through the window, a woman with soft eyes, watching the raindrops slide down the glass, waiting for the storm to end, as if she knows the rain might bring him back. Because some hearts never move on. They just keep beating for the one they found, once, perfectly, and forever.